Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and today on this Friday afternoon, I figured I'd get on here and we can talk a little bit of boxing. So please hit the thumbs up when you enter. Make sure you please hit that thumbs up, and when you see my notification or whatever on your YouTube, share my link on social media or tell a friend. Like I always say, tell a friend or three. All right, so I want to say definitely shout outs to my Zone 15 family. Shout out to everybody in the city of Cincinnati. Um, to all my family on both sides, my mom's side, my dad's side, especially the ones that like to talk to boxing, like my cousin DJ and Bunk, Lincoln Heights Zone 15, um, Big Zo, um, my cousin Will Frierson, my cousin Mel, Zone 15, Melly Mel, Kendall, KG, all the people that like to talk the boxing talk. And hopefully today you're rocking with Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. Shout outs to my guy T Hill who popped up on my live last night. Always showing his support. Much respect. Much respect to my guy. Got me some of that warm hibiscus tea. It's probably roughly like 29 degrees here in chilly Cincinnati, Ohio, in the United States of America. For my friends that are outside of America. We got like 11 viewers right now. Hit that thumbs up, please. Hit that thumbs up. Just take a quick second and hit thumbs up for me. We got 11 people viewing. Let's get 11 likes. And just so you know, I'm gonna get around to all the chat comments. Just give me a little second to get to you, because I'm about to start talking some stuff pertaining to boxing. All right, so let's pick up where we left off. Uh, hey to everybody in the chat, what's going on, y'all? Thanks for coming through. Um, let's pick up where we left off. As you know, it's going down tomorrow night. Um, the Gennebeck situation. Um, we'll get more developing news as that situation starts to unravel. I don't know too much on it personally right now, so I'm not going to really talk about Gennebeck. But what we do know is, as of right now, he's not going to be fighting tomorrow night. He was replaced with another opponent. Um, so let's talk about that fight card for tomorrow. Foster versus Fulton. Pretty Boy Steph and Oshaki Foster. I give the power to Foster. I give the speed and the better footwork to Fulton. Um, but Foster has a very deceptive style. His hands are not as quick, but he does throw combinations and he does have power. And he can counterpunch. So I think that Cool Boy Steph has to be very cautious. Not to the point where he's overly like overthinking or anything like that, but just make sure that he's knowing that after he throws a couple combinations, if he's in within the arm reach of his opponent, Foster, he wants to make sure that he's protecting himself or ready to, to weave the punches or whatever. Um, the way I see that fight going, I feel like Fulton will win by a decision. I feel like Fulton's gonna win on a decision, a scorecards, but he has to be um, on his A game, which I think he will be. And he doesn't want to get overzealous in the pocket. No need to take too many risks when you don't have to. Um, I know a lot of people say they don't trust the chin of Stephen Fulton, but I don't think his chin is. I think it's sometimes it gets the term gets used too loosely that everybody has a glass chin because a boxer gets wobbled or a boxer got knocked out or stopped, then everybody becomes glass chin. I don't believe in the glass chin narrative in every case. Um, so that's just my take on that aspect. Um, Now tomorrow, another good fight. Frank Martin versus Francis Bartholomew. I feel like the athleticism can give Rancis some issues. The athleticism of Frank Martin. I like Frank Martin's style. But I wonder if being out the ring for a while is going to have any effects on the performance of Frank Martin. But hopefully he'll be like how Charlo did when Charlo came back after a while and he was able to have a good performance after a layoff. I can't remember the opponent that he fought, but I'm hoping that's going to be a similar scenario for Frank Martin. That he's not going to be ring rusty, and that he'll be able to acclimate to the situation and be able to make adjustments as the fight goes on. Also, it's going to be cool to see this because now he's under the training of Buddy McGirt. So it's going to be good to see how they mesh together in their camp and how he's going to present different things in this match and maybe try a couple of new things, that he may not have really tried under Derek James. Um, it's going to be a good fight. I'm going to take Frank Martin to beat Bartholomew. I don't think he's going to just walk over him. It's going to be some back and forth. It'll probably be some really great moments in the pocket here and there. But I think the will, and I would still say that Frank Martin has a good chin, getting knocked out by Tank. See, that's what I'm saying. People would say, oh, he got knocked out by Tank. Okay, he did. But look how many people did get knocked out by Tank. Or if Tank hits you to the body, he stopped people with body shots. So Tank has that level of power that if he connects flush, you're going to be really hurt or you're going to be knocked out. That's boxing. And that's coming from a person like Tank with a high knockout ratio. So I can't say because Frank Martin was stopped and knocked out by Tank Davis that means that man has a glass chin or a suspect chin or stuff like that. Nah, that's not the case. I think Frank Martin will do just well tomorrow, and I love the fact of hearing his interviews um, which he's been on a couple different interviews, but just hearing him say that, hey, um, I, I'm not really going to let that loss define my career. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to let that loss in the way that he lost define his career. He's gonna still keep moving. He's gonna keep stepping, and I think that's a good thing. He's definitely moving in the right direction. So shout outs to Frank Martin. Shout outs to Rancis Bartholomew as well. But like I said, I'm taking Frank Martin. So I'm taking Frank Martin to beat Rancis Bartholomew. I got Cool Steph winning on a decision over Oshaki Foster. Um, as far as Ramos and Mosley, um, I'm not sure about that one personally myself. Um, I haven't seen. Maybe I might have saw Mosley fight one or two fights, so I really can't really make a prediction based on that. Um, but it's definitely a fight that after it happens, I'll get my breakdown on it on Sunday when I go live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I had to at least announce the fact that it's going to be on this card. Um, and the main event of the night that I think we're all looking forward to is Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach Jr. Um, just to see, what kind of tricks, because I know that Lamont has said, amongst other people, they feel like Pitbull Cruz is somewhat one dimensional, um, only has one dynamic. Well, we'll see. I mean, if that's really the case, and that's what Lamont Roach Jr. feels, then he should win this fight pretty handedly if he's that much more superior as far as his skill set and stuff like that. I did go back to watch Lamont Roach Jr. versus Jamel Herring. I'm not going to use that as a I'm not going to use that particular fight as a gauge or whatever because um he was tentative and he was fighting somebody, with decent movement, a southpaw. Um, so he kind of had the length. He kind of could match him in that regard and stuff like that. He had nice speed and footwork. So Jamel Herring had it to where Lamont Roach didn't really want to open up. It didn't look like in that fight he really wanted to open up. But I feel like he's got better since that point. Of course, everybody's going to use Tank Davis, as the highlight fight that gave him his big name. You know, Having a draw with Tank Davis definitely gave Lamont Roach Jr. a big name, but I don't want to just use that fight to say that Lamont is at a certain level because that's the biggest name that he's fought, and it went to a draw. But tonight, or tomorrow night, I'm sorry, tomorrow night, Saturday night, is when we can really see what Lamont Roach Jr. can do when he's fighting a pressure fighter with a lot of power and somebody who's willing to take his punches and will keep coming all night long. Lamont Roach is a good body puncher. You know what I'm saying? He mixes it up. He goes to the body and the head. So I wonder if his body shots will have any effect on Pitbull Cruz. Because we know Pitbull Cruz is the type of fighter to where we know his chin. You know what I mean? We know he has a great chin. We know his chin's been tested. So the question is, will the body assault coming from Lamont Roach Jr. could it have some type of effect on Pitbull Cruz? So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. Um, will Lamont Roach um, go to the body more so on Pitbull Cruz than he does with anybody else? Do you think that'd be like a big part of his blueprint is to try to dig to the body because the chin of Pitbull Cruz is just very, very. resilient, and he has a very good chin resistance for sure. So as far as that fights, if I just have to pick somebody, I'm gonna take Pitbull late stoppage. In the championship rounds, I feel like Pitbull will eventually be able to stop him. Um, I think his endurance is there, his cardio will be there all night, and the pressure that he keeps applying will take its toll on Lamont Roach. I think he will get Lamont Roach in that corner a few times during this fight. So it'd be in the best interest of Lamont Roach to keep his back off the ropes as much as possible. Um, so hopefully, in the training camp of Pitbull Cruz, we know he has power. We know he has that Mexican pressure fighting style. But hopefully, they worked on some of the tweaks. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of like just throwing like the haymakers or the hooks, like some more uppercuts and learn how to crisp, clean up that hook, clean up those, use the jab a little more, stuff like that. Um, but I mean, I think tomorrow is gonna be fireworks in that fight. It's gonna be fireworks in that fight. And like I said, I'm gonna take Pitbull Cruz to stop Lamont Roach Jr. in the latter part of the fight. I appreciate you subbing. Thank you very much. Um, all right, so let's move on to the heavyweight division. Um, of course, something I talked about on my last episode. Usyk calling out Deontay Wilder. Is that like a strategic move by Usyk? Um, and strategic in a few ways, like you know, although Wilder is not the Wilder that people said he was at one point. Um, the fact that he was a former champ that reigned for so long, had so many title defenses. The fact that he was once part of the three-headed dragon, him, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury. Um, maybe that's just a situation to where it's not too risky of a fight for Usyk, and if he beats him, then Usyk maybe from that point fight Fabio Wardley or Ajit Kabiel, one of those guys, before retiring. If he fights Wilder, I don't think Wilder's going to be his retirement fight. I think he would fight one of the other top guys like Ajit Kabiel or Fabio Wardley. Um, and that's if Ajit Kabiel comes out on top with his next opponent. I plan to talk about him as well, Ajit Kabiel as well. Um, T Hill, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you as always. Appreciate you as always, my guy. Um, all right, so um, we all know Joseph Parker was eager for his opportunity against Alexander Usyk, but the way it ended up is that Parker fought Fabio Wardley, and Wardley stopped Parker late in the fight, and some people didn't like that call. They didn't like the stoppage call, that Joseph Parker got, and he was kind of up on the scorecard, so he was on his way to a decision win. Um, but I mean, it is what it is. Um, so with Fabio being a front runner, I just wonder who he's going to fight next. And then we know Ajit Kabiel will have his hands full um, here soon when he fights Damian Kimba. Ajit Kabiel, 26 wins, no losses, no draws, um, versus Damian Kimba, 17-0-0 on January the 10th. They're going to get it on. Um, and the last opponent that Kimba fought, he beat Joey DeWaco. Um, I just can't in this particular match. I can't bet against Ajit Kabiel. You know, back in February, Ajit Kabiel, his most recent win was the heavy hitting southpaw Zilly Zhang. Um, he stopped Zilly Zhang with a body shot and knocked him out with a body shot. Um, he also beat Frank Sanchez. Now we can argue that Frank Sanchez, you know, kind of had a leg issue. I don't know if it was a knee injury or something, but he's not the Frank Sanchez that we knew when we saw him fight against um the African fighter that Frank Sanchez fought. I always forget his name. He kind of reminds you of a Deontay Wilder. Got the Deontay Wilder build. He has a good right hand as well. Um, and that same guy fought Martin Bacoli, but I just can't think of his name. But when Frank Sanchez fought him, which I'm gonna have to look that up because it's kind of bothering me. Um, he was very mobile. You know, he was very mobile. He was moving around the ring very well, and that created a lot of issues for his opponent. And when you're a guy that wins and you have that slick style of boxing and mobility is a huge part of your Fa Jagba. That's what it was, Fa Jagba. So when he fought Fa Jagba, um, Sanchez was really mobile. He was moving around and he was out slicking the hard punching Fa Jagba, and that's how he was able to win. But when he fought Ajit Kabiel, Frank Sanchez, I think he was injured in that fight. Um, so, um, but I would just mention that because, like I said, Ajit Kabiel had beat Frank Sanchez, but he also stopped Magmadov. Um, stopped him the same way he stopped Zilly Zhang, very similar. A body shot, a barrage of body shots, eventually breaking him down, and he just couldn't take it. So my gut feeling tells me, and the way I feel is that, and like you said, T Hill, Ajit is legit. So I feel like it's going to be a similar scenario. I feel like Ajit Kabiel, he will systematically break down Damian Kimba, and the fight likely ends with his infamous body shot. You know, I think that body shot is going to be the one that's going to get him up out of there. Um, January 24th, Moses Ntuma versus Jermaine Franklin. That's a fight that'll be a good fight as far as getting the rounds for Moses Ntuma. Franklin, lost. Technically, I would say he lost his last three fights because, well, nah, I won't say he lost his last. I'll say he lost his last two. It should have been the last two because AJ beat him, which it was no argument. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but AJ did beat him. Now prior to AJ, he fought Dillian White. Now that was a he was given a loss, but I don't know, man. Jermaine Franklin might have pulled that one off slightly. It was one of those fights that could have been 7 rounds to 5 rounds either way. Um, but Jermaine Franklin will fight Moses and Tuma. I gotta respect the fact that Jermaine Franklin ducks no smoke. So you fight Dillian White, you step up a notch. You fight uh, AJ Anthony Joshua. Now you're about to fight the young up and coming Moses and Tuma, who's a southpaw as well. You know what I mean? So being that he's a southpaw, I wonder if that's going to give any issues to Jermaine Franklin in that regard, fighting the southpaw stance, athletic and younger. Moses Atuma is slick, and he has stopped all his opponents. I would say none of his opponents made it to the mid rounds. So if he can go deeper, and Jermaine Franklin can carry him to in the trenches and get him in the later rounds, it would be interesting to see. And on top of that, Jermaine Franklin, as a pro, he's never been dropped. So this man has a good chin. That's a testament to the chin of Jermaine Franklin. So I want to know y'all y'all prediction. I know some people say Jermaine Franklin will step on Moses and Tuma. It would be fairly easy, but I don't see it as a walk in the park. Um, January 31st, Shakur Stevenson, age 28, whose record is 24-0-0, versus Tefime Lopez, age 28 as well. His record is 22-1-0. They will fight at 140 pounds. Now, Tio's last performance. Hey, Brody, what's up, Cuzzo? Thanks for following through. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. We got four likes, so hit that thumbs up and hype this video up. Hype it up. They have an option where you can hype it up. Hype up the video. Um, so you got Tafime and Shakur Stevenson, both at the age of 28 in their prime. And this is what good boxing and great boxing is all about. Guys fighting in their prime. Tio's last performance, he boxed very well. Times Square when he won his unanimous decision against Arnold Barbosa, who was undefeated at the time with 32 wins. Um, Arnold Barbosa himself, um, he fought guys like Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez, and he beat both of them guys. Now back to Tafime. He defeated Jermaine Ortiz. He beat Sandor Martin by split decision. And the Sandor Martin fight, that's the match that most folks refer to because they're thinking that um, they feel that Tafime will struggle with certain style slick boxers and stuff like that. Um, but the standout fight that he did win for Tafime Lopez was his most notable win with beating Lomachenko. Um, and his only loss, surprisingly, was to George Kambosos Jr. Um, so we'll see, man. It's gonna be a interesting fight. Um, Definitely Tafime got the better names all around on his resume. He has the bigger name opponents. Um, Shakur Stevenson, his last performance was definitely an eye opener for many of us when he fought William Zepeda. Um, he definitely fought in rare form. A stylish Shakur Stevenson we may not ever see again because even after that fight in the interviews, he kept saying that he didn't like getting hit the way he got hit. So we may not ever see that side of Shakur Stevenson again. Um, but it was refreshing to see. It was refreshing to see Shakur Stevenson in the pocket a little bit more and taking a little bit more risk. But while we're talking about Shakur Stevenson, he seemed to be very critical of the performance of Abdullah Mason. when Abdullah Mason fought Sam Noakes. And this was in an interview he did on Cigar Talk. Um, he kind of, in a sense, or at least that's the way I took it. This is just my opinion. I felt like he kind of was downplaying um the victory of Abdullah Mason. I understand Shakur's mindset and his mentality is the hit and don't get hit. You know, the playbook of hit and don't get hit. I understand his discipline and where his mentality lies, and I understand that art and his approach. But at the same time, I feel like Abdullah still did a good job being a young guy to where everybody questioned, could he take a shot? Everybody was questioning, would Abdullah crumble if he gets tagged a lot? And Sam Noakes put a lot on him. Sam Noakes even did some dirty tactics in there and some roughhousing when they got real close. So just seeing the fact that he could persevere through that is good to know that Abdullah Mason has he has some durability about himself. So shout outs to Abdullah Mason out of Ohio, up north, Cleveland. Um, and it was a big moment for Abdullah to finally leave America, to win the straps over in Saudi Arabia, to beat Sam Noakes, and to bring the belts back to Ohio. That's a big achievement, man, for him to be a young guy. Um, so I kind of get what Shakur is saying to an extent, but maybe he could have said it in a different way. Um, Let me know what y'all think about that. Um, all right, so we're gonna jump back. Oh, and one more thing. I feel like the Abdullah Mason fight was the most lit fight on that card. I felt like that was the number one fight on that card. I felt like the second best fight on there was uh Bam Bam Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like the Abdullah Mason was the highlight fight on that card. What's going on, Cam J? Salute, Cam J. Salute. Salute Brody James, aka cousin Kendall. Salute. T Hill, salute. Um, so let's bring it back to Shakur Stevenson. Prior to Zapata, when he fought Josh Padley, which of course that was like a short notice on the behalf of Josh Padley. So that's a fight that Shakur should have won. Uh, Now, the performance that was frowned upon by most journalists and fans and pundits is the fight that took place on November 16th of 2023 when he fought De Los Santos. Um, because Shakur himself made an apology for his performance when he fought Edwin De Los Santos. So I felt like the way he fought Zepeda was him trying to show that, hey, I can do more than just be the type of guy that you saw against De Los Santos, where I'm not punching a lot or I'm looking like I don't want to punch because I'm worried about getting hit or what's going to come back. Uh, KMJ, you said Cool Boy missed weight on the second attempt. Oh, wow. Thanks for the update. Y'all hear that? Cool Boy Stephen Fulton missed weight on the second attempt. Mm. Now, as far as women's boxing, um, the rematch with Amanda Serrano versus Cruz, that'll be January the 3rd of next year, 2 days after New Year. What do y'all think about Amanda Serrano and Cruz? Serrano won the first decision. What do y'all think about the rematch? I think Amanda's going to win that as well. And also in women's boxing, I saw something. that I definitely want to share. Um, Carolyn Dubois, the sister of Daniel Dubois. Um, it says here, Dubois to MVP, return December 19th. WBC lightweight champion Carolyn Dubois is expected to announce a new deal with Jake Paul's most valuable promotions per sources. Dubois' next title fight, her next title defense is being lined up for December 19th in Miami, according to WBC convention. Shout out to Carolyn Dubois. Um, and also in women's boxing, I checked out the interview with Miss Jab Queen Boxing for sure. Shout out to Jab Queen. A very good interview she had with Shadeja Green. Um, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Clarissa Shields and Shadeja Green. Um, you know, it's been a lot of stuff on Twitter to where Clarissa Shields is taking aim at Shadeja Green. They've been kind of having their back and forth. I did notice in the interview on Jab Queen's channel that Shadeja Green had mentioned that basically Clarissa had made a threat. Had made a threat like when she sees her, what she would do or whatever. So I mean, Shadeja does not take that lightly. You know what I'm saying? You can't threaten that lady. You know what I'm saying? She got hands too. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like the old cliche and the old saying. Um, if you want the smoke, you can get the smoke. So if that's what Clarissa is going around looking for, they always say you might get what you're looking for. Shadeja Green, she ain't about to be no punk or nothing. You ain't about to punk her out or nothing like that, man. So that's definitely a fight that's building up. So I just can't wait for that to happen. That has to happen. I'm hoping that's going to be something that happens in 2026. Clarissa Shields versus Shadeja Green. Let's just get it on. All the rest of that BS, let's just make it happen. Regardless, we know that's the fight that we want to see. Shadeja Green knows what's up. Clarissa Shields knows what's up. So they need to make that fight happen for sure. Cam J, you said fight will continue. He just won't be fighting for the title. Yeah, man, that's like shooting yourself in the foot, man. Cool boy Steph, come on, man. This is a important time right now, and you've been preparing for this for a minute. It ain't like it was like somebody you off the couch and they saying, "Hey, we need you as a replacement, man." You know what I'm saying? Like he knew what's at stake, man. I don't understand these guys, man, when they be doing this kind of stuff. This like Keyshawn Davis, type. I don't know, man. I don't understand it, man. Um, Now on the card of Moses and Tuma, I was talking about Moses and Tuma and Jermaine Franklin. Also on their card is going to be Ezra Taylor. I've been trying to follow him. You know, he's going to be fighting Hutch Train. Well, that's his Hutch Train Hutchinson. I'm not hip to him. Do you know anything about him, Cam J? The opponent of Ezra Taylor, Hutchinson. Um, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but yeah, them guys there. Cam J, you said this him moving up to 130 from 126 too. Oh yeah, got to bear that in mind. Yeah, gotta bear that in mind. So, like, I wonder what your predictions are, Cam J. You, Brody James, and T Hill. What's y'all predictions? I feel like Fulton's gonna win on a decision against Foster. Um, I wasn't really sure about Ramos and Mosley because I haven't seen a whole lot of Mosley fights, and I'm taking Pitbull to stop Lamar Roach down the stretch in the championship rounds. And then Laura, I'm not sure about Gonzalez because I'm not really too privy to him. But if you happen to know about Gonzalez, let me know, Cam J, what you think about him and Laura, and also what you think about Ramos and Mosley, if you know a lot about Mosley Jr. Uh, you said okay, fighter, fight should be decent. Okay, cool, cool. That's what's up, man. And I think Eddie Hearn has a fight card tomorrow. The only name that really stuck out to me that I knew was Johnny Fisher. Johnny Fisher, the heavyweight, he's going to be fighting somebody tomorrow. But I'll be up and moving around because my brother up here from Florida, so I got to kick it with my brother tomorrow, and I got to get up and actually work for a few hours in the morning. So um, I won't be able to see that the zone card until later on to play it back. But I'm definitely going to be tuned in for the PBC fight that night. This is a nice card, man. I mean, really, besides, let me see, what would be my favorite match on here? Um, I mean, Pitbull Cruz versus Lamar Roach. Yeah, that's the way it should be. But I really, I want to almost say I'm as excited to see Frank Martin do his thing as I am to see Fulton and Foster. I'm really looking forward to seeing Frank Martin bounce back. You said, Cam J, shout out to Cam J, y'all. He said, Laura about to step on Gonzalez. Gonzalez got stopped by Ramos Jr. and Tellus last year, even though he beat Jerry Hurd earlier this year. Okay, okay. Thanks for that. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. Run those fights back today. Since today's my off day, I got time. So after I get done live, I'm gonna get ready for your live, Cam J, and then after that, after your live, I'm gonna do some research and I'm gonna look at these fights you're talking about with Laura and the Gonzalez and Ramos fight. I'm gonna look up that one. All right, y'all. So I didn't plan to be on here too long. I wanted to do um about a hour show, so I ain't gonna be here on here too much longer. Um, let me see. Oh yeah, Cam J. Right before I end this, man, a few things I talked about just before you probably jumped on. Um, as far as like the heavyweight division, do you feel like that Usyk calling out Wilder is a strategic move for Usyk? What do you think Usyk has up his sleeve with that? Do you think it's a method to his madness? I mean, if he is to get past Wilder or whatever, what do you think Usyk gonna do next? Is he gonna eventually fight Ajit Kabiel if Ajit Kabiel beats Kimba, or do you think he'll fight Fabio Wardley? Or do you think that Usyk is not interested in fighting either Wardley or Fabio? I mean Fabio Wardley or Ajit Cabiel. Do you think it's too high of a risk? And also Ryan Garcia, his next fight February the 21st of next year for the WBC welterweight title challenge against current champ Mario Barrios. Um, Ryan Garcia should be able to beat Barrios. I don't see I don't see where he can't beat him. But I'm gonna go back and look at some more footage of Mario Barrios. I'm gonna go look up that Mario Barrios and Pacquiao fight. And I'm gonna look at the Mario Barrios and Tank fight. Even though I know, eventually Barrios got slept, but I just want to see what he was doing prior to getting slept. Um, so I kind of can go back and think on it as far as the Ryan Garcia and Barrios fight. Cam J, you said you got to save that conversation for the show. We're going to get all into that conversation with Tay Jones, especially since he close to Wilder. Oh, okay, okay, cool. I see. Hey, man, I'm tuned in, bro. I'm ready, man. I'm off today. I ain't worked today. I took off, so you already know. That's why I went early because I knew you was at 2:45. I'm like, let me go ahead and go on early, so that I can get my show over with, and I'm gonna be all the way sitting back, tuned in to yours, and I want to hear what Tay Jones got to say about this. Okay, okay. I'll let you know then, man. I'll let you know. I got a little bit of this congestion, man. I've been sipping on this hibiscus tea, man. So I was like, I'm at least get on here and do something, man. But man, I hate when I feel like this. All right, so we'll save that Wilder conversation for your show. Um, Let me see. Shakur Stevenson and Tefime Lopez, man. I was saying earlier how they both 28 years of age, and Tio's last performance, he beat Arnold Barbosa, who was undefeated with 32 wins at the time. Arnold Barbosa beat Catterall Ramirez, so I mean he had a couple of known names that he beat. Um, do you feel like I feel like between Shakur and Tafime, Shakur is the more consistent as far as his performance, but at the same time, um, even though his performances are more consistent, he hasn't fought to the level that Tafime has as far as the type of names. So I don't. So it's hard to really gauge that, man. Um, because you can't really say, based on that perspective itself. So I know style makes fights. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Tafime's style can be the style to beat Shakur Stevenson. I feel like he has the style that can beat Shakur, but he has to be all the way switched on. Like he can't be like that version of Tafime that have that off night. You got to be the one like the version that beat Loma. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if he's all the way there, man, he gonna get Shakur issues. So how do you feel like that'll go, Cam J? Can you see Tafime beating Shakur? And I know like I looked at the interview on Mill City with with Floyd Schofield Sr. And I take a lot of what he says with a grain of salt because we know he's gonna say a whole lot of stuff far left. But I did agree with this part. He was saying like Shakur plays inches, man. Like You notice like when he does that little step back, he makes his guy miss by an inch or two. You know what I'm saying? Where they just miss him, man, or whatever. But normally when he's up against the ropes, he can't do that little step back like that. That's how he got caught by Zapata. When Zapata was able to keep him up against the ropes. I feel like a Tafime can keep a calculated pressure on him and definitely wants to work the body. He needs to work the body of Shakur. I feel like Tafime, man, he can cause that upset. He can cause that upset. Now, on Cigar Talk, Shakur's granddad said that he said that Shakur is so cold that these guys out here can't see him. You know what I'm saying? That he's so talented and well rounded that to females is pretty much no threat. And I mean, of course, he's his grandfather, so he's supposed to say that. Cam J, you said it's a 50-50 fight. I hope it's exciting with action instead of the pity pat party. Oh man. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna get ready to close this one down. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. If you come in a little bit later and watch this back, just hit the thumbs up as you come here. Hype up the video. Hype up the video one time for me, man. Um, because I just been out here grinding more. I've been jumping on here a few times during the weekdays, and in due time here, I'll have it set up to where I'm learning a little bit more. Like I said, as far as the other aspects of what we do here at Ringwalk Boxing Podcast. Um, so everybody have a safe Friday, man. Um, I'm gonna see y'all on Sunday when we recap 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time USA. When we recap the fights from tomorrow, and meanwhile, in between now and the time that Cam J goes on, I'm gonna watch that fight he just told me about with Ramos and Gonzalez, the guy that's gonna be fighting Laura. All right, y'all. So y'all be safe, and like I said, tell a friend or three about Ringwalk Boxing Podcast here in the description area down below. We have a link tree. I really want y'all to follow me on Twitter. I know Cam J already does. You may, cousin, I'm not sure if you do or not, cousin Brody James. T Hill, please follow my my Twitter and everybody else on here. Follow my Twitter. Um, Let me give my final shout outs to y'all because I appreciate y'all following through too to the new people that came through tonight. Um, Fab, thanks for subbing. I really appreciate it. And to Sue Booga Henry AK-47. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up, y'all, and y'all have a safe day. And I will catch y'all on the next round. Peace.